Live from WTVO 17 and your home team. Eyewitness News at 5 starts now.
A frightening rumor about the state line is tracked back to a popular app. Investigators say stories of a serial killer aren't true. The latest details on a number of death investigations.
A masked man enters a bank and leaves with a wad of cash. Boone County Police hope the public will speak up and put the thief behind bars.
Kind of overwhelming, but mostly exciting to be with other countries.
A Rockford private school is setting records. Middle school students celebrate winning a state competition as they prepare to take on competitors at the global level. Good evening, I'm Mimi Murphy.
And I'm Eric Wilson. We'll get to those stories in just a moment, but first, storms are moving into the area.
And as Candice mentioned, some do have the potential to turn severe. Let's go back over to the Weather Center. Candice, how's it looking out there?
Yeah, Eric, and currently we don't have any severe thunderstorm watches or warnings, at least locally. A lot of that staying just a little bit further to our south, downstate, where currently a severe thunderstorm watch is in play for central and southern Illinois. Severe thunderstorm warning and tornado warning further south of Galesburg. A little better instability down to the south, but we do have some thunderstorms moving through that have the potential to have some gusty winds, 40 to 45 miles per hour, particularly with this storm moving into the Freeport area. Some heavy rainfall too. We need the rain, just don't need it to come down in such a short amount of time. I think the rain and maybe a wind gust to 40, 45 miles per hour will be our biggest impact and threat with that storm. Looking a little bit further down to the south though, and kind of watching this storm structure, this line of thunderstorms moving out of Whiteside County and into southwestern Lee County, kind of bowing out a bit. It's had more of a bowing structure over the last couple of hours. Nothing severe with it, but as it does move in and move to the north and northeast, it is capable of producing winds 40 to even 50 miles per hour. Now, what we're looking at is the wind within that thunderstorm, our velocity. Nothing rotating or indicating anything of that nature, but some of that brighter red, those are winds peaking at about 40 to 45 miles per hour within this thunderstorm. So it's possible we get that to translate down to the surface. So from Dixon stretching into here southwest of Amboy and Franklin Grove and Ashton, heads up, this storm is moving in your direction. Expect those winds to increase here over the next 20 minutes or so. These will continue to move to the east through about 6, 7 o'clock, impacting the Rockford area within the next hour. Actually, could be a little sooner than that. But by the time we get to about 9, 10 o'clock, most of this is going to be moving out and will dry out our skies by about 11, 12 o'clock this evening. We'll look a little bit more in depth in some of the storms, the height with them, and that cooler trend for the first week of May. That is coming up here in the full forecast a little later.
Thank you, Candice. We'll see you in a little bit.
A pair of videos posted on TikTok are putting the Rockford area in a negative light. The creators allege the Forest City has a serial killer on its hands.
So we felt the need to present the facts to you. Investigators tell Rachel Perry this year is nothing out of the ordinary. There's no chances these cases are connected.
With nearly 2 million views, one TikTok video is claiming Rockford could have an alleged serial killer. Several comments are now asking for answers from the police and the media. I spoke with several officials today to finally clarify what's really going on in the area. So far in 2021, the remains of at least 5 people have been discovered in the state line area.
But 100% this is not a serial killer, no.
The viral video references skeletal remains found in March near Bypass 20 and 251. Illinois State Police say early reports indicate a possible suicide. Coroner Bill Hintz says the remains have been sent to Indiana for further investigation.
First one, we have a pretty good idea, and I don't want to release anything yet. It's not suspicious. We have a pretty good idea, but until I get a little more, I don't want to say anything else with that.
Later in March, another body was discovered in a storage unit in Roscoe. The woman was later identified as Michelle Arnold Bosinger from Harvard, but no cause of death was released.
I don't think our case is related to any other case, but I don't know anything about the other cases, so rightfully so.
You know that the Roscoe Police Department is investigating that. We did do an autopsy that has absolutely nothing to do with the others. I can only speculate. You know, spread out through a year, we might get 4 missing bodies a year. So did we just find all of ours at the beginning of the year and the rest of the year will be okay? I think it's mere coincidence. I don't think there's anything to it.
In Rockford, for your home team, I'm Rachel Perry.
Belvedere police want the public's help in finding a suspect who robbed a bank this morning. It happened just after 10 at Midland States Bank on South State Street near Logan Avenue. According to investigators, This masked man walked in and demanded cash. Belvedere's police chief says the suspect took off after taking an unknown amount of money. A canine was brought in to try and track him down, but he got away. Officers tell us the man did not appear to have a weapon. The FBI is also investigating. Freeport police take 5 guns off the streets during an arrest. 22-year-old Isaiah Ross and 23-year-old D'Angelo Burgess face multiple weapons charges. Investigators nabbed the pair during a large gathering of what they're calling hybrid street gang members. That was near State Avenue and Iroquois Street. Both men ran away from police but were eventually arrested. During the incident, officers recovered 5 loaded pistols. The men are each being held on $100,000 bond.
2 cars collide at a busy Boone County intersection. This took place around 1:45 this afternoon at Genoa Road and the bypass in Belvedere, not far from the Walmart. Our Eyewitness News crew at the scene spotted a white truck and black SUV with heavy front-end damage. No word on injuries or what may have led to the crash. A weekend hit and run in Rockford leaves a man fighting for his life. This happened around 8 Saturday night. Police responded to West State Street near the Citgo gas station for a report of a pedestrian hit. Investigators say a 50-year-old man was lying in the road. They believe he may not survive. Witnesses told officers the driver was in a white sedan. If you know anything that may help track down that hit-and-run driver, contact police.
Fire investigators say spontaneous combustion led to an early morning fire in the village of Winnebago. It happened on Gregory Way near Cunningham and Westfield Road. Just after 5 this morning, crews were able to put out the flames. Wimber Sioux Fire Chief Dave Loria says the family had been staining their deck and left chemical-covered rags in the garage.
You usually want to air them out or throw them in a bucket of water or something so they don't combust, but these were just kind of piled in a bucket. So they were able to heat up, kind of cook, and evolved into a fire.
Chief Loria says most of the smoke damage was contained to the home's garage.
State line students celebrate a big win. Middle schoolers at Spectrum School won first place in Illinois' future problem solving. The kids came out on top in written and presentation competitions. Future problem solving requires students to collaborate during a 6-step process, from research to coming up with solutions to issues facing the world today. The Spectrum team's focus was on medicine.
We did a lot of research about personalized medicine and the different ways people make and use it, and we used all that research to come up with our step 6 solution.
Team members go on to a virtual international competition next month. They'll test their problem solving and creative skills against top teams from across the world.
4 city nature conservationists hope the community will get in touch with the outdoors. That's why Severson Dells is taking part in the City Nature Challenge. Participants are tasked with downloading an app called iNaturalist, then getting to snapping photos of birds, plants, any form of nature in your neighborhood. At last check, nearly 3,500 observations had been documented. Organizers say the challenge helps scientists.
And all of these posts are shared with researchers around the world, so it makes a big difference. And there's over 400 cities participating this year in 40 countries.
The challenge runs through tonight. We've put a link to learn more at mystateline.com.
President Biden continues his push to gain support for his multi-trillion-dollar infrastructure plan.
After the break, a Monday stop puts the spotlight on schools as lawmakers work to find a path forward towards the deal.
Plus, Illinois mass vaccination sites offer up COVID shots for anyone who wants one, but those opportunities come at a cost. At 6, we'll show you the millions being spent as the demands for doses drops.
Temperatures today warmed into the 70s before some of the rain and thunderstorms moved in. We'll look at the timing of those and when they move out, coming up in your most trusted forecast a little later.
You're watching Eyewitness News, your home team, with Eric Wilson, Mimi Murphy, Sports Director Scott Leber, and Chief Meteorologist Candice King.
President Joe Biden is back on the road this week selling his infrastructure plan. Today, he was in Virginia highlighting the effect it could have on schools.
Our Washington correspondent Kelly Meyer tells us some of what's in the president's proposal and explains the uphill battle it faces as she keeps you connected to the nation's capital.
Good evening. President Biden is pitching his American Families Plan, which he says will help students, teachers, and parents, as well as help grow the economy.
We can choose to invest in our students.
During a visit to Virginia Monday, President Joe Biden highlighted how the $1.8 trillion American Families Plan would invest in education. The proposal includes $200 billion for free universal pre-K and $109 billion for 2 years of free community college.
They bring needed skills to our workforce.
First Lady Dr. Jill Biden, a community college professor, joined the president to promote the plan. The two toured an elementary school and community college, highlighting how the president says his idea could help the country recover from the coronavirus pandemic.
We can do this and grow the economy.
The American Families Plan and the American Jobs Plan combined come with a roughly $4 trillion price tag.
Loaded with tax increases that will slow the economy.
Republican Senate Minority Leader Mitch McConnell says he's interested in working with the president on infrastructure, but on a much smaller plan. There's also discussion of splitting the American Jobs Plan in two, something Virginia Democrat Mark Warner said he could support, but is still holding out hope for a larger bipartisan deal.
If we can get a bipartisan solution, it's always better.
And the president will continue his tour later this week with a trip to Louisiana to highlight investments in water infrastructure. Reporting here in Washington, I'm Kelly Meyer.
After an almost perfect weekend, other than the wind, rain and storms are making their way into the state line.
When we come back, Candice will have the latest on the severe threat.
Now, your first warned weather forecast with Chief Meteorologist Candice King.
Well, showers, thunderstorms moving across much of the region this evening. So far, nothing severe, but a couple of the stronger thunderstorms capable of 40 to even 50-mile-per-hour wind gusts and some heavy rain as they move through. A little bit more instability found a bit further down to the south, where severe thunderstorm warnings have been ongoing across parts of central Illinois. Looking a little more, though, at this line of thunderstorms working in now just to the west and southwest of Dixon, to the west here of Amboy in Lee County. This line kind of bowing out a bit and showing a little bit of a stronger structure to it as it moves to the north and northeast at about 45 miles per hour. So this would place it in Dixon here very shortly. Amboy just a little before 5:22. Franklin Grove after 5:30. Ashton at about 5:45. Winds 40 to 45 miles per hour possible with this storm as it moves through. It is moving into an environment that has a little bit of instability, so I do believe it is going to be able to maintain itself here over the next hour or so as it continues to work to the northeast. Cloud cover for us today did kind of limit some of that instability, but you've probably noticed it feeling a little bit more muggy out there. So we've got enough to kind of maintain at least a couple of these stronger thunderstorms. We look a little bit further up to the north here in Stevenson County, north of Rideout. Once you get up towards Rock Grove, Dakota as well, this storm kind of working up to the northeast as well. Again, heavy rainfall, frequent lightning, and even winds gusting to about 40 miles per hour. I don't think we have much of a hail threat with any of these thunderstorms, maybe some small hail associated with that, but there's not a lot of height. These storms are only peaking at about 20 to 25,000 feet above here. So not a lot of really lift to kind of get them going to produce that. Again, wind is going to be our primary concern. These will move closer to the Rockford area within the next 30 minutes or so, 30 to 45 minutes, kind of working across that I-39 corridor. Should clear us here as we work towards about 9-10 o'clock this evening. In fact, well, we go really quickly here through Futurecast. You see a lot of that moving out by about 9-10 o'clock this evening. Our skies, they are going to stay mostly cloudy here through the night tonight. There is going to be a push of colder air that comes in behind that cold front. These thunderstorms triggered from that cold front. So temperatures tomorrow will be in the lower 60s. We'll keep the cloud cover around. There is a system that passes us to the south here, so we might see a very light shower associated with that for the first half of the day tomorrow. As far as rainfall amounts with these storms as they move through, they're not slow movers. Again, they're moving to the east and northeast at about 45 miles per hour. A good ½ an inch of rain possible, especially with some of these stronger storms as they come through and that heavier rainfall. Don't think we'll see much more than that unless they slow down just a bit, but we've got quite a bit of moisture in the air this evening. A live look with the Mercial SkyTrack camera out in Freeport at the Park Hills Golf Course. You see rain coming down and the wind now kind of shifting around to the northwest as the flag whips around. 49 degrees, that's where we head for the overnight. We've got that thunderstorm risk. They're about 9-10 o'clock, mostly cloudy skies. Then after after that. 61 for tomorrow afternoon. Cooler too. A few light showers during the first half of the day. Temperatures then for the rest of the week expected to stay in the 60s. We should see a little more sunshine on Wednesday, 64. Clouds will be back in for Thursday. A few lighter showers there. Friday looking fine, although I did add in just a slight chance for an isolated shower. Might see some of that carry over. Actually, some rain on Sunday. Hopefully we'll be able to dry out for Mother's Day. Temperatures staying in the lower 60s, but that cooler pattern sticking around. I don't think we'll see the 80s anytime soon.
Yeah, it looks like those 80s are long gone. Thanks, Candice.
Just for a while.
That's right. They will be back
They'll
eventually.
be back.
Then we'll have those to complain about that it's too hot.
Scott's in next to talk sports. He says Bears GM Ryan Pace just might have redeemed himself with his draft moves over the weekend.
And Scott has some advice for the Packers on how to handle the Aaron Rodgers situation.
Now, the Napleton Sports Desk with Sports Director Scott Leber.
The NFL draft is in our rearview mirror, and Bears fans are looking forward to the coming season with more anticipation than usual, and that tells you what type of draft Ryan Pace had. Pace needed to hit a home run in this draft. He couldn't swing for a solid single or double. This franchise needed some hope, some fresh air, and most of all, needed a talented young quarterback. And Pace delivered on all that when he made his move to get Justin Fields. Not only is the fan base energized by the addition of Fields, so are the Bears players. That was clear from their social media post over the weekend. They needed this. No one in that locker room was inspired by the signing of Andy Dalton. Nobody in the locker room was happy that Kyle Fuller was let go. But now the locker room has a spark. Fields isn't a lock to be a franchise quarterback, but he has a chance to be one. That's more than we can say about any Bears quarterback in most of our lifetimes. Fields has all the physical tools. And pressure now is on Matt Nagy and his coaching staff to develop Fields in all the other areas. Footwork, pocket presence, throwing, mechanics, reading defenses, understanding the offense. I'm not sold Nagy and his guys can do that, but I can't wait to find out. In Green Bay, the Packers should have drafted a marriage counselor or some therapist to bring management and Aaron Rodgers together to try to patch up their relationship. Can that relationship be saved? The Packers have to try. The Packers say they won't trade Rodgers, and if I were them, I wouldn't be quick to trade Rodgers. It's early May, not the end of July. Maybe in time Rodgers' emotions calm down to the point where he's at least willing to consider a return to the team and he's willing to talk. The Packers also need to guarantee him that he is their guy for the coming season and next year, then give him some more guaranteed money for this year and next year. What's the downside of making Jordan Love wait 2 more years for his shot? There's none. Not when you've got the league's MVP. If Rodgers is still adamant 2 months from now that he's not coming back, then the Packers won't have any choice but to trade him. That's my take. We'll be right back.
Our first warning interactive radar brought to us by Rockford Auto Glass and More. We've got showers, thunderstorms moving through. Nothing severe at the moment, but some heavy rainfall for some and some gusty winds that could top 40, maybe at most 50 miles per hour, especially with the one cell moving through Lee County. Although as it moved through the Dixon-Amboy area, so far haven't had too many high wind reports coming from that. Also a little cluster of thunderstorms working into northwest Winnebago County. Cold front reason for the thunderstorms this evening. That passes. Cooler, guys, for the rest of the week.
All right. Thanks, Candice.
And thank you for spending a little of your time with us. Stay safe.